Hi, my name's Stacy, and I'm here to tell you about my childbirth labor experience at the farm in Tennessee with Ina Gaskin. And the background of the story is that I started out trying to put the birth together in New York City in August, but I didn't know if my doctor would be at the hospital with me to deliver, so I moved everything to Tennessee to be with Ina May, who is, for several reasons, the most famous midwife in the world, basically because she solved the problem of shoulder dystocia and created the Gaskin maneuver. Okay, I'm acknowledged in her guide to breastfeeding, and I'll move on. So she taught me what I call Cheyenne's way, named after her daughter-in-law, who invented this childbirth labor technique that not only builds oxytocin for the mother and the baby, but solves the problem of painful contractions and helps you have some drug-free labor during after the water breaks. You have to figure out how you're going to get your baby out. I will demonstrate. Okay. In most labor technique videos, you see a exercise ball, but you need to use what some people refer to as a birth pole. You never see anybody using the birth pole and the exercise ball. I used a physio ball. There are other kinds of balls. Whatever brand you use, it doesn't matter. The exercise ball is so useful. Without a pole, you can roll from side to side, but if you're 165 pounds, like you're heavy weight in the front, it's dangerous. Look, it's dangerous to move back and forward. Okay, now with a birth pole with a rubber stopper on the bottom, you can sculpt one yourself, use a walking stick, but make sure you have a rubber stopper on the bottom. These can be mass produced, but you've got to give 10% to the Farm Midwifery Center. That's the deal. Okay, when I used my birth pole, I was told as my contractions began, and they did, my water broke right on time, and contractions began, and Ina May said, now what you do is you begin to gyrate. This is what happened. Her daughter-in-law told her husband, Sam, get my capoeira stick. She was from Brazil. And this is how the whole thing began. So I moved, a contraction came on, and the pain was unbearable. And so I moved on the exercise ball, I planted the pole, and I moved, I gyrated, I got my posterior behind me, my stomach, of course, my belly baby was in front of me, and I moved, and suddenly the pain dissipated, and I felt really good. And I said to my husband, who was filming me, oh my God, it works. And then I waited, and I didn't think anything was going to happen, but another contraction came, and I couldn't believe it. I moved, and I moved through the pain. I did the labor work, and I felt better again. I almost felt like this whole contraction thing was a spiraling event, and according to Michel Audin, the father of water birth, he wrote a book called The Scientification of Love. I was actually building oxytocin between me and my baby, and we were bonding through the labor experience. Now, this childbirth labor technique, during this, I dilated to 9 centimeters. So the value of using the birth pole as an axis and moving the hips behind the body has incredible value, and this childbirth labor technique, I believe, is really valuable and very maha to have some drug-free labor. And you can do this in a hospital or home setting. It doesn't guarantee any outcomes. I had to have a cesarean, and cesareans are all right. Natural childbirth is all right. And I recommend it highly for anyone out there who wants to have or can have some labor before they give birth. So please consider practicing this in your third trimester. Okay? Thank you. Bye.